It was just past midnight when Officer Sarah Miller's patrol car rolled through the quiet streets of Raven Creek, a small, forgotten town in the Midwest. The town was practically dead after 10 p.m., no cars, no open diners, not even stray dogs wandering the streets. For Sarah, this was routine. She'd been on the force for nearly 8 years, and nights like this were usually uneventful. But tonight felt different. The wind howled through the empty streets, rattling old street signs and broken shutters. Sarah sipped from her lukewarm coffee, scanning the dark alleys, when suddenly her radio crackled to life. Unit 4, we've got suspicious activity reported near the old train station. No backup available, everyone's tied up on a domestic in Pine Hill. Can you check it out? Sarah's stomach tightened. The old train station. That place hadn't been used in over a decade. It was a crumbling relic of the town's past, now serving as a hangout for junkies and drifters. Still, orders were orders. Copy that, dispatch. I'm on it, she said, flicking on her siren for just a second before turning down a side street leading to the station. As she drove, Sarah couldn't shake the uneasy feeling gnawing at her gut. Something about the tone in dispatch's voice, or maybe the way the town seemed eerily quiet. The train station loomed like a dark skeleton at the edge of town. Its once grand clock tower was frozen at 3:17, and graffiti covered every inch of the cracked brick walls. Sarah killed her headlights and coasted to a stop, her hand instinctively resting on her holstered weapon. She stepped out of her car, boots crunching on broken glass and gravel. The beam of her flashlight cut through the thick fog, illuminating boarded-up windows and rusted metal doors. Then she saw him. A figure crouched in the shadows near the platform, thin and trembling. He looked like he hadn't slept in days, his clothes torn and dirty. Police. Hands where I can see them. Sarah called out, gun drawn. The man froze, his hands slowly rising. Please, don't shoot, he said in broken English, his voice shaking. Sarah approached cautiously, keeping her gun steady. Turn around, slowly, she ordered. The man did as told, revealing a gaunt face with sunken eyes. He couldn't have been older than 30. What are you doing out here? She demanded. I need help, he whispered. His accent was thick, Spanish. They're coming for me. Sarah frowned. Who's coming for you? He looked over his shoulder, eyes darting nervously toward the station's dark interior. Cartel. I run away. Please, help me. My name is Diego. Sarah's instincts screamed danger. Illegal immigrants weren't unusual in these parts, but his fear was real, palpable. She lowered her weapon slightly but kept her guard up. You're saying cartel members are here? In Raven Creek? She asked, skeptical. Diego nodded, trembling. They kill everyone. I saw something I shouldn't. Sarah felt a chill crawl up her spine. She reached for her radio. Dispatch, I have a male suspect, possibly injured, claims cartel involvement. Requesting immediate backup. But instead of a response, all she got was static. She tried again. Nothing. The radio was dead. Suddenly, a loud metallic clang echoed through the station, like a door slamming shut. Sarah spun around, gun raised. We need to move, Diego whispered urgently. They know I'm here. Sarah grabbed his arm, leading him toward her patrol car. But before they could reach it, gunfire erupted from the shadows. Bullets ricocheted off nearby metal beams, forcing Sarah and Diego to dive for cover behind a concrete pillar. Stay down, she shouted, returning fire toward the flash of muzzle bursts in the darkness. She caught a glimpse of 2 men in tactical gear, faces hidden by ski masks. This wasn't random, this was an ambush. Sarah's heart pounded as she reloaded her weapon. She was outnumbered and outgunned, and backup wasn't coming. Why are they after you? She yelled over the gunfire. I worked for them, Diego admitted, his voice cracking. I carried shipments. Drugs. Guns. I tried to leave. I saw them kill a cop. Sarah froze for a split second. A cop? Her mind raced. Could that be why this ambush was so coordinated? Another round of gunfire forced her to act. She grabbed Diego's hand and sprinted toward a side entrance of the station. They ducked through a rusted door and into the pitch-black interior. The station smelled of mold and decay. The sound of footsteps echoed behind them, heavy boots, closing in. Sarah led Diego through a maze of hallways, her flashlight flickering against graffiti-covered walls. They stumbled into what used to be the waiting area, now filled with broken benches and shattered glass. "Stay low," Sarah whispered, scanning the room. A shadow moved near the ticket counter. Sarah fired a warning shot, but the figure didn't flinch. He stepped forward, rifle raised, and that's when Sarah saw his face. Her blood ran cold. "Ryan," she whispered. The man smirked. Ryan Callahan. Her former partner. The one who'd mysteriously left the force 2 years ago. "Hello, Sarah," he said, his voice calm. "Didn't expect to see you tonight." Sarah's heart sank. "You're with them?" she asked, her voice trembling with anger. Ryan shrugged. "Cartel pays better than a police pension. And now you've seen too much." Diego grabbed Sarah's arm. "We need to go." Ryan raised his rifle, and Sarah dove behind a bench, pulling Diego with her just as bullets tore through the wood. She fired back, catching Ryan in the shoulder, but he barely flinched. "You're not getting out of here alive, Sarah." Ryan taunted, his voice echoing through the station. Sarah's mind raced. She had one clip left, Diego was unarmed, and the station was surrounded. They needed a plan. "There's an old maintenance tunnel," Diego whispered. "Behind the ticket booth." Sarah nodded. They crawled low, weaving through debris, as Ryan's footsteps grew closer. Sarah could hear the smugness in his voice as he called out. "You always were too stubborn for your own good." They reached the ticket booth. Sarah pushed Diego through the narrow doorway first. The tunnel smelled like rust and rot, but it was their only chance. Suddenly, a gunshot rang out, and Diego cried out in pain. Blood bloomed on his side. "Diego!" Sarah screamed, dragging him through the doorway. Ryan appeared, rifle raised, but Sarah spun and fired 3 shots in quick succession. One hit his leg, another his shoulder, and the third struck him square in the chest. Ryan collapsed, a shocked expression frozen on his face. Sarah didn't look back. She half-carried, half-dragged Diego through the tunnel until they emerged behind the station. Her patrol car was still parked in the distance. She got him inside, slammed on the gas, and sped out of Raven Creek. By the time backup finally arrived, Ryan was dead, his ties to the cartel exposed through encrypted files found in his car. The ambush was over, but Sarah's life would never be the same. Diego survived his gunshot wound. Weeks later, he was granted special protection for testifying against the cartel. News outlets hailed him as a hero. In a rare interview, Sarah stood outside the police station, reporters asking her how she felt about saving an undocumented immigrant. She looked straight into the camera and said, "Heroes don't need papers."